Nick Darr here, getting ready to shoot another episode of Business Over Brew, which wouldn't be possible if not for our great sponsors at Roberts Motors. You know the Roberts Motors name, they've been around since 1949. Definitely a name that means quality. We certainly appreciate their support of not only this show, but all they do for the community. You talk about a local business that gets it in terms of supporting great community causes and just being involved in the community. The guys at Roberts Motors, Sam, John, the rest of the crew there, they really understand what it means to be a good business citizen in the community, and they've done that for a lot of years. If you're in the market for a vehicle, you know the car industry has been a little upside down lately in terms of inventory. They're starting to get more and more vehicles on the lot. Starting to see some new Broncos out there, so go check that out. A little more pre-owned inventory as well. They're certainly always in the market to give you a great deal if you're looking to sell your vehicle as well. Now's a great time to do that. And maybe something we don't talk about enough is just a really great top-notch service center at Roberts Motors. If you need work done to your car, you need tires, oil change, any kind of service work, Roberts Motors is really a terrific place to consider. And they would just appreciate the opportunity to do business with you, whether it's buying a vehicle, buying your vehicle from you, or getting some work done to your vehicle. Check out Roberts Motors on Albee Street in Alton or at robertsmotors.com. Welcome to Business Over a Brew, the show where we talk business with Riverman business people. Today, joined by Steve Tassinari, Tassinari Insurance. Steve, thanks for coming on the show. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Cheers.
Cheers.
So just tell us a little bit about yourself and where you grew up and how you got to be here.
Okay. I'm born and raised right here in the Alton area. Went to high school here. After high school, went to college at the University of Missouri in Columbia. So went to Mizzou and came back to the St. Louis area and have been here ever since.
Okay. We were saying before we came on, we've had a lot of Mizzou grads on this show. Pat King, Eric McCroy, and others that I'm sure I'm forgetting. So tell us a little bit about your time at Mizzou. And I think you said you were a business major down there. So tell us about the experience in Columbia.
Had a great experience. Met lots of lifelong friends. Joined a fraternity while I was there. Had some fun. But then also wanted to figure out what I wanted to do after graduation. So again, came back to the St. Louis area and have been here ever since. I knew that I wanted to work in the St. Louis area or be around a bigger city, yet I still have the ties to Alton, love Alton, and really haven't wanted to move out to a bigger city.
What year did you graduate from college? What was going on then, and what was your game plan in terms of employment at that point?
Sure. Graduated in 91, and, like any other market, wasn't real strong for people getting jobs. So it was basically get a job and then kind of figure out what you want to do in business. So I got into sales, enjoyed that. And the part I liked about sales was actually the interaction with people, getting to know their business needs, and then finding solutions for them.
I graduated in 99, and it struck me the other day how different it is now in 2021 when you graduate. There's so many employment opportunities available, at least at this particular point in time. And it's kind of a really good job market if you're a job seeker at the moment, whereas 91, 99, not so much the case. It was kind of hard to figure out what you were going to do, and everybody wanted some experience, and how do I get experience if you won't hire me? So it's a totally changed job market, and in your case 30 years later. And it's interesting, I think, just that, well, if you have a degree right now and you know what you want to do, you probably can find pretty employment fairly easily, I would think.
I would think so. And like you said, the way people find jobs now is totally different than how we did it. Because you were sending out a hard copy resume,
right?
Waiting for a phone call or making a phone call. And now there's a lot of different social media sites that you can use to help expedite that.
And your field and my field coming out of college, sales, has changed so much as well, to where really, if you wanted to, you could have a job anywhere in the country right now.
Probably, yeah.
Because of the technology and how many salespeople are working from home now anyway. So it's the market has really opened up. And I've always said, I've been in sales, we've hired and trained salespeople. I said, if you can be good at this, you'll be employed for the rest of your life, because every company is always looking for good salespeople.
Exactly. Yeah. And the way, my team approaches sales is, sure, we have a product, we have a service that we offer. People can buy it anywhere, but it's the one-to-one, getting to know people,
Sure.
getting to know their needs, and having a solution for them. And that's the important thing for us.
So you were in sales. How did you get into the insurance agency, and when was that?
I opened my agency up October 1st, 2019, so just a little bit over 2 years ago. I got into it thinking I like sales. I like the idea of interacting with people.
Right.
I like helping people. I really do. And this was just a natural fit for me because it's a service that people need. So I don't really feel like I'm a salesperson, because what the services we have, people need. If you have a car, if you have a home, you're going to need insurance. So it's not like we're really selling a service. We're really just selling ourselves. And so that's where me and my team like to think we differentiate ourselves, because we will take the time to get to know people. We want to make sure that what we provide for you is what you want, not what we want.
Yeah, I was going to say that was going to be my next question of how do you differentiate? Because there's obviously a lot of choices, and it's a competitive industry, and
Absolutely.
so that's got to be something that you spend a fair amount of time thinking about in terms of planning your business and trying to grow it.
It is. And the differentiator, like you said, the whole job market's changed. If people want insurance, they can get online with their phone,
Right.
tablet, and buy something online. They can. What they don't necessarily get is the questions, the answers, the conversation about what they might need or want. And that's where we, again, can differentiate ourselves. So the market has changed quite a bit in that aspect.
What can some of the pitfalls be for somebody that doesn't have that personal interaction with an agent?
A couple
just
of
tries to do it yourself. in a
Right.
way.
Well, then you don't necessarily know what your deductibles are, what you're going to have to pay if something happens, because people don't think about that. I always like to say we can discuss anything we want because, the sun is out and the sky is blue. So any changes we need to make, we can do right now, no harm, no foul. But when you're sitting, maybe when it's raining out and you're stuck on the side of the road, and then you're scratching your head thinking, do I have roadside service? I don't know if I have that or not. So those are some of the things that we like to talk about, just to plan, because life does happen. So again, we like to talk about deductibles, liability limits, what it is that we're protecting for you, and we get to know people's situations, and that way we can help provide the correct solution for them.
Take us back to, you said it opened in 2019. What do you remember most about first opening the office?
One of the things I remember is our file cabinet, we had nothing in it. so
What was there to put in it? Nothing.
Yes, I know. So I remember our first file we put in there. To this day, I remember the customer very well. They're still a customer, and that's the thing I remember is like, wow, okay, this is real, and it's time to go. So that radiates vividly in my mind.
And obviously COVID's had a huge impact on, it's kind of been around throughout the history of your office being open. In what ways has it impacted you guys?
Well, it's been negative and it's been positive, because when we are talking to some people, they tell us, you know what, I've been home from work and I've had time to look at my policy. I haven't looked at it in 6 months, haven't looked at it in years, and there may be some gaps or some things I need to talk about. Do you have time? Absolutely. So in that aspect, it's been positive, because people have time to look at their policy, to make changes to what they want to do. The negative part is, sure, when COVID first hit, people weren't out and about. So everyone was a little hesitant to come out, to meet, to discuss. So, it's had, again, some positive and negative implications.
Kind of changed the way you probably would prefer to do business, which is face to face, I assume.
It does. And we always offered, even back then to this day, we prefer to meet with people in person. That way we can have the conversation and talk about things live in person. You can see a hard copy. We can answer questions directly right now, as opposed to on the phone. And then someone thinks 10 minutes later, 30 minutes later, oh, I forgot to ask a question, never mind. So again, we do prefer to meet with people in person, masks, wherever. But we have had to do, modify the way we do things, whether it's over the phone or email.
Right. What's the most rewarding part about the role for you?
The most rewarding part is when people say, thank you so much, I didn't know that. And what I mean by that is we sit with people that have had policies for years, And I might point out something and say, well, why do you have something different on this car versus that car? I didn't know I did, Steve. I'm like, well, yes, and then we talk about that, or we talk about their home. So you have this coverage. Why is that? Or how did you choose that? I didn't know I had that. So really the most rewarding part for me, like I said earlier, is I like to help people. So I love uncovering needs, and I love just asking questions. And then when people say, thank you, I didn't know that, thank you for spending the time with me and answering my questions, that to me is the most rewarding part.
What's the biggest challenge that you're facing in the business right now?
The biggest challenge, I think, with any business out there is, there's a lot of competition. And at the end of the day, it does boil down to price, for most things,
Right.
give or take. You can't have a big sway in price one way or the other. And we get that. And that's where, again, I feel like we can really differentiate ourselves, because I represent multiple companies, not just one. So I work for you, the customer, because I can look at different options for you with different companies, and then we can decide together the best fit for you. Now, some companies, if the price is very high, we're not going to talk about that one. But if we have a couple that are within, the same amount, we can talk about those. So, those are some of the things that I really like.
Different insurance agencies offer different things. What are the products and services that you offer?
So we offer personal lines. We have auto insurance, home insurance. We offer life insurance. We have commercial insurance for business owners, for their buildings, for their general liability and their work comp. And we also offer bonds and some other, specialty insurance products.
You mentioned you have a team there at the office. How do you go about building that team and putting it together?
So my team, we've been together since we've opened. And what I look for, it's not necessarily a salesperson, but I need someone that's going to represent me. So like I talked about earlier, I'm the fourth generation of my family here in town. So I always kind of joke around that if I'm not related to half the town, I know the other half. So I need somebody that's going to represent me in the office, as well as, in public. So I really need people that are going to go the extra mile. And if we have a customer that needs to meet, prior to normal business hours or even after normal business hours, we'll do that. We'll meet with somebody on Saturday. We'll meet with somebody on Sunday. So I really just look for a person that is well-rounded and that's going to do right by me and the customers.
Who have been some of the biggest mentors for you in the business?
Well, I mean, there's been, a handful of my, Kai Redman is one of them. Kai is out of the Edwardsville, Collinsville locations. And, Kai's a great business mind. He does go the extra mile for his customers. He's good with his team, with his employees. He's very well balanced, and he has a good business mind too, as far as with companies and where, like you mentioned, where the industry is going.
Sure. Where is the industry going in terms of trends that you guys are seeing?
Well, like I mentioned earlier, people can get online with their phone right now and look for any type of product they want. And that's just the nature of anything. Anything you're looking for, you can kind of find at your fingertips. So is that where the business is going entirely? Yes and no. Me personally, I like the idea of making a phone call. I like talking to someone, getting answers. There's certain things that, of course, that I can buy off Amazon. I don't know that this is one of them, because when you're protecting your home, your car, your family, you really, I would think that, you have some questions that you want to know, specifically what happens if, and that's where we can come in.
Is there one thing or what one thing, as you look back over the couple of years you've been around, what's one thing you would have done differently?
Wow. I don't know. I'm not saying that we do everything perfect, but what my philosophy is, I like to treat people the way I want to be treated. So is there anything that we've done that's like gone completely wrong? No, there isn't. Because like I said, we will go the extra mile. I talk to people like their family, because they are. Everybody that leaves my office, every policyholder we have, has my cell phone number, every one of them. And I ask everybody to please use it, especially after hours. If there's an after hours emergency, if you're stuck on the side of the road, or if it's the weekend and something happened to your home, please call me. I want to know so I can help facilitate the claim. So is there anything that we've done that I do drastically different? I really don't think so.
Well, Steve, thanks for coming on Business Over Brew. If somebody wanted to get in touch with your office, what's the best way to do that?
Our office phone number is 618-466-2700, and we have a website, stevetass.com, and we're located 2720 Groveland. People don't know that address, but when we say we're 2 doors down from Mr. Donut in Godfrey, people know where that is.
Right. So, well, Steve, thanks for coming on the show. Best of luck to you in the future.
Thank you.